Welcome back to Derek's Zoo Videos and the final exhibit tour of 2023. 12 months ago, we began this year's exhibit tours adventures at the Milwaukee County Zoo, and now we'll conclude them just a couple hours south in the suburbs of Chicago. The historic Brookfield Zoo features nearly 20 animal attractions spread across over 200 acres. As a first-time visitor, I felt Brookfield had a lot of different experiences to offer compared to other zoos. There's buildings dedicated to deserts, swamps, and rainforests. 2 combined reptile and bird houses, one of the most unique African exhibits I've ever seen, one of the country's few dolphinariums, even if it was closed when I visited, and you don't find too many zoos with major exhibits dedicated to the wildlife of Australia. Brookfield's Australia House opened alongside the zoo in 1934, and although I believe the interior of the building has been updated, the main footprint of the complex has remained the same for nearly a century, which makes it an appropriate exhibit to introduce this very historical zoo. Located near the zoo's north entrance is the colorful Australia House. And right away, you know this Australia attraction is going to be different when the first tank contains a Queensland red claw crayfish. Probably not the first animal you think of when it comes to Australian wildlife. Australia is home to hundreds of species of snakes, 3 of which can be found in the next room. The Woma python is an expert burrower, while green tree pythons prefer the arboreal lifestyle. And as for the carpet python, well, they do a little bit of both. At the end of the hallway is a larger mesh-fronted habitat that recently held a variety of colorful finches, but now you can find the laughing Kookaburra, the largest member of the kingfisher family, known for their iconic laughing calls. However, stealing the show was the Short-beaked Echidna. No, this is not a porcupine or an anteater. The echidna is one of only 2 members of a unique group of mammals known as monotremes, the only mammals to lay eggs. There is a lot of surprising facts about the echidna. For one, they have no teeth. Instead, they grind up food with hard pads located on their tongues and the roof of their mouths. Echidnas are also shockingly very good swimmers, and despite their lesser-known status, you're looking at Australia's most widespread mammal. Around 30 short-beaked echidnas live in 10 North American zoos. Brookfield recently celebrated their first echidna hatching with a single puggle named Quill, who was born in 2022, bringing the zoo's echidna population up to 6. Moving back in the opposite direction are 3 more tanks, this time for Australia's lizards, including ridge-tailed monitors, a larger tank in the middle for Australian water dragons, and the unique frilled lizard. From here on out, the remainder of the building gets dark. A long, narrow hallway leads you into Australia's deserts of the night. In the middle of the room are 2 open-air habitats where you can see more echidnas. In addition to 1-year-old Quill, Brookfield's echidnas are Waddles, Pokey, Copy, Rex, and most special of all is Adelaide, who at over 50 years old is not only one of the oldest echidnas in the world, but also the oldest animal at the Brookfield Zoo. Moving around past the now darkened former Kookaburra exhibit, to the other side of the echidna habitats is a larger open-air exhibit for a very special Brookfield species, the Southern Hairy-nosed Wombat. These tiny tanks are surprisingly agile, able to sprint at up to 25 miles per hour, and have been known to jump over meter-high fences. Brookfield received their first hairy-nosed wombats in 1969, and 5 years later became the first zoo outside of Australia to successfully breed this species. Since then, over 20 wombat joeys have been born at the Brookfield Zoo, with the most recent birth occurring in 2017. The Australia House's final room continues the nocturnal theme, but we're moving from the desert to the rainforest. In here, no barrier separates you from the Rodriguez flying fox. These critically endangered bats are not actually native to Australia. Instead, they are endemic to the island of Rodriguez in the Indian Ocean. In fact, about 80% of the wild population belongs to just a single colony. Due to this small wild range, these bats were initially brought into captivity over concerns that a single natural disaster could wipe out their entire population. While there has been no reintroduction efforts yet, captive breeding programs have had success, and the total Rodriguez flying fox population is believed to be around 20,000 individuals. Some might feel uneasy about the concept of a walkthrough bat exhibit, but the Rodriguez flying fox is among the roughly 170 species of bats that specialize in eating fruit. That does it for the Australia House, but there's still more to see. Outside are 4 grassy yards of varying sizes. The first one just outside the exit apparently used to house a cassowary, but now you can find the Cape Barren goose, a species that survived a near extinction due to overhunting in the 20th century and is still considered one of the world's rarer geese. The remaining 3 yards are viewed from an elevated walkway. In the first one you can find the red-necked or Bennett's wallaby. And in the final 2 habitats, look for more wallabies, as well as the western gray kangaroo, a very adaptable species that can be found in a variety of habitats, including woodlands, grasslands, and even more urban areas where they have thrived despite growing human populations. Finally, there's the world's second largest bird, the emu. And that concludes today's Down Under adventure. But this already impressive Aussie collection will soon be even better, with nearby exhibits for koalas, tree kangaroos, and possibly more expected to be completed later in 2024. Which brings us to the end of our exhibit tours journey for 2023. But our adventures will continue with some great episodes lined up for 2024. As always, thank you for watching and supporting my channel, and stay tuned for a special edition of Derek's Zoo videos to wrap up 2023.